The air shimmered slightly with atmospheric stabilizers as the Kralvex delegation entered, each of their 6 limbs carrying a ceremonial plasma axe. Behind them, the Threxians slithered in, their armored scales gleaming under anti-projectile plating. The standard murmur of politics mixed with the clink of weapons being sheathed. Then the humans walked in. No armor, no weapons, just pressed suits, clipped badges, and one guy in cargo shorts for reasons no one dared ask about. The security alarms didn't even bother pinging. Humans were pre-flagged for mandatory disarmament. Ambassador Velk of the Molari Confederacy clicked his mandibles in confusion. Why are they not carrying weapons? Counselor Jean sighed, the kind of sigh you only develop after multiple traumatic incidents involving Earth species. Because they're not allowed to. Why? All delegates are entitled to ceremonial or defensive armament. Jean turned his single eye toward the humans, who had just begun disassembling the complimentary refreshments table to make coffee. He watched one pour boiling water into a hollowed datapad. Because everything they bring becomes a weapon. The human with cargo shorts waved. Yo, it started, as many things with humans did, with an enthusiastic misunderstanding. The first human delegation to the Galactic Council had arrived with what they considered light gear. They described it as standard diplomatic protocol, emergency comms, basic self-defense, and a light medical kit. What they brought included body armor designed to stop tungsten-cored rounds, sidearms chambered in something that could punch holes in starship hulls, and a drone named Peanut that asked everyone if they'd like their surveillance done in 4K or thermal. Peanut was polite. Too polite. Unnervingly polite. The Zarn representative had asked why the drone had a retractable blade. "Letter opener," the human had replied. The first flashbang incident happened when a curious glare poked at a tube protruding from Peanut's underside, labeled Personal Alarm, Pull in case of emergency. The resulting sonic pulse permanently deleted 3 delegates' ability to hear frequencies above 800 Hz. One Zekth delegate reportedly began communicating in interpretive dance afterwards. This was followed by several diplomatic inquiries as to why humans had considered laughter grenades and intimidation gum as necessary field items. No one was reassured by the answers. The second incident involved a pen, a simple human click pen. The humans had courteously left their overt weapons behind after the previous misunderstanding. But after a heated debate on asteroid mining rights, one human had borrowed a stylus from a Zoraxian representative and spent the rest of the session idly tinkering. By the time the motion passed, the pen had been converted into a spring-loaded dart launcher with facial recognition targeting with a big red button. When pressed, the button launched a foam dart that ricocheted around the chamber, knocking over 5 drinks, 2 datapads, and causing the Nahari delegate to faint from surprise. "I couldn't help it," the human said afterwards. "It had a button. It was red. I had to press it." Security tried to ban tinkering tools. Humans responded by making weapons out of lanyards, chairs, shoelaces, a harmonica tuned to ultrasonic dissonance, and, in one notable case, a ham sandwich. That sandwich is now in the Council's weapons archive. It has a plaque. The plaque reads, "Do not eat. Technically still armed." A subcommittee attempted to identify other common Earth foodstuffs with high weaponization potential. Their report was later classified after a demonstration involving a stale baguette and a thermochemical battery. Then came the assassination attempt. A rogue faction targeted the human ambassador during a trade negotiation. The attacker lunged with a plasma blade. The human ducked, grabbed a chair, and turned it into a pressure-based projectile system by using the conference table as a makeshift catapult. The chair is now a Class II weapon of unregistered mass kinetics. The assassin was subdued with a carafe of water, 3 sugar packets, and a glare that melted titanium. No one quite knows how the human did it. There was no training, no gadgets, just instinct and an unsettling willingness to improvise. The post-incident investigation noted the human had also set up rudimentary tripwires using lanyards and a council-issued translation pamphlet folded into aerodynamic throwing form. These were never deployed, but they were ready. Following the assassination attempt, new precautions were enacted. Humans were to be escorted by diplomatic marshals trained in counter-human containment. These measures were evaluated every quarter and, without fail, updated to include new human-inspired anomalies. At one point, the Galactic Council attempted to issue human-specific restraints, until a human used one to create a makeshift slingshot capable of propelling a standard datapad through half an inch of durasteel. The datapad contained a spreadsheet of acceptable conversation topics. It embedded itself in the wall next to the Igari ambassador's head. They kept it there, as a reminder, and, unofficially, as a warning label for any new human delegate. Avoid sarcasm, avoid spreadsheets. The vote came after much debate and many frayed nerves, officially tabled as Motion 871C on the limitation of human delegation, equipment for the preservation of interspecies safety. Extensive testimonies were heard, including an emotional statement from a Plixie diplomat who'd suffered blunt force trauma from a re-engineered shoehorn. It was smiling while it did it, the Plixie sobbed. Smiling. The vote was unanimous, save for the humans, who abstained because they were too busy making tea with uranium-grade energy capacitors. New rules were drafted. No human may enter with weapons. No human may enter with armor. No human may bring or be near any object that can reasonably be used as a weapon. No human may be left unsupervised near unsecured objects. The humans agreed instantly. Cheerfully, even. Yeah, fair. We get it, they said. Then one of them asked if they could still bring paper clips, just in case. Councillor Jean shook his head. You see, Ambassador Velk, we can regulate weapons, armor, even biological augmentations, but we cannot regulate intent. What do you mean? They once turned a spoon into a directed microwave emitter to stir their coffee. Ambassador Velk looked at the humans, who were now stacking data tablets into some kind of leaning tower. One of them licked his finger, held it in the air, and adjusted the angle by 3 degrees. Weather radar array, he announced. Should work fine. John put his head in his claws. Velk hesitated. And if the array doesn't work? A nearby human smiled. Then we switched to kinetic forecasting. Jean let out a groan that came from the depths of his third stomach. Humans now wear soft fabric robes to council meetings. They carry no tools, no shoes, and are escorted by 2 drones equipped with magnetized field disruptors. None of it helps, because no matter what you do, a human will find a way. And they'll do it with a smile, a cup of coffee, and the phrase, "Relax, it's just a safety measure."